All right, so hi. I've got a bit of a mess here, right? I'm going to show you how to solve a little bit of this mess. Now, the mess that I have is I've got a plot here, right? And the plot consists of the blue dots, which are all the data points, okay? And in fact, I should probably give those a name. I'll do that in a second. And I've got these orange data points, which is just the elastic data. But I can't really see what's happening with the elastic data, right? So I would love to blow that up. And the way to do that is either to create a second plot. Not so good, right? No, let's not do that. Or what we can do is we can plot this data on what's called a secondary axis. Now, Excel can do this. Google Sheets can't. Okay, just flat out. If you're trying to do this in Google Sheets, it's going to fail. Don't even try it. Just kind of go find yourself a copy of Excel. Go. If you're a student in a school, you can probably get one for free. Go get one. It can do this. So let's see how we do this, okay? So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to do two things actually. The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to choose again the select data, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to change this series name from stress to all data because I want it to be. And when I put the legend in, we'll see why I want to do that. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on one of these points, and I'm going to choose Format Data Series, and we'll wait. There it is. And what's funny is under these three bars, this is exactly what I wanted, by the way. So for once, Excel went straight to what I wanted. But it says plot series on primary axis or secondary axis. Now, wait a sec. Secondary axis. What that does is that gives us a second axis. Now, second axis can have different values on it, I should say. Now, the thing is, with Excel, it assumes you want the y-axis secondary. Okay, well, the thing is, in order to get to the second x-axis, we've got to go through the second y-axis. So I'll choose secondary axis, and there's my secondary y-axis. It showed up on the right. Okay. Yeah, it's possible to move that around. I don't really want to do that right now, but didn't do anything for my horizontal. My data still looks like it's packed in. But I'm going to get rid of that menu. I just did. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to go under the chart tools. I'm going to say under design, it says add chart element. Well, now that I have a secondary vertical axis, Excel looks at this and says, you might want a secondary horizontal axis. Can I give you one? Notice how we've got primary horizontal, primary vertical. Secondary horizontal is an option, and then secondary vertical. I'll put secondary horizontal on this. And now look at the magic that just happened. Okay. As I add one more chart element, I just want to add a legend, and I'll put it on the right, and I'll make this a little bigger just so we can see what's going on. Okay, so now I have the two sets of data. The orange data is plotted on the top and right axes. So the strain for the orange data, for this kind of point here, has to come from the top. It's a very small strain. It's elastic. I can now use this and find things like a Young's modulus and a yield strength and actually see what I'm doing. I know, shocking, right? Meanwhile, the primary axis on the bottom covers the entire deformation, which goes up to a ridiculously large amount of strain. This is up near 90% strain. That's something else. But this secondary axis only goes up to about 1%. Well, that's not very much at all. And the elastic part is under about 0.02%. And something else I'd like to do now, of course, axis titles, secondary horizontal. I would call this elastic strain, inches per inch. And I'd put a label on my second vertical axis, my secondary vertical, elastic stress, PSI. And that's really all it took. Really, all you have to do, you right-click on your data set, or you can just choose, format selection, right? Either way, this menu up here that I'm highlighting on the top left, that will give me the same menu. Plot series on, choose the secondary axis. If it doesn't exist, it creates it for you. Done. Then, once you get the secondary vertical axis, you can get the secondary horizontal. Quick, dirty, no problems. Okay, and again, Google Sheets is unable to do this. I've tried. I've failed. I've looked at the help. It's a feature that Google really needs to add, but Excel already has it. So in that sense, we're not really missing much as long as we have access to a copy of Excel. Okay? Thanks a lot. Enjoy.